Yeah, good morning everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Jeremy Allen Carp Angler. You join me today in a very unusual setting for me. I'm up at Linear Fisheries fishing Brasenose 2, and yeah, the reason that I'm up here today, it's this weekend it's the first Parker Bait Social of 2025, and yeah, Tom and Ben have hired Brasenose 1 and 2 for the next 48 hours, and I think there's up to 76 of us here spread across the two lakes. We did a peg draw before or a lake draw before we came here, and I drew Brasenose 2, hence why I'm here. And we all got here for 8:30 this morning, where we did a peg draw, and I've drawn peg 3, which is for those of you that know it, or those of you that don't, it's down in the sort of bottom corner, if you like, of the main bowl area of the lake. And yeah, I'm not sure what I've got out in front of me. We've got to wait till 11 o'clock before we can start having a lead around and baiting up, etc. But yeah, let me just sort of switch you around. As you can see, that's the sort of bottom end down there, and then sort of straight out in front of me you can see I've got a nice bit of open water out there. And then going on up the lake, some guys have been fishing here the last few days, and they seem to mainly be catching from up towards my left there into the sort of where it sort of narrows up a little bit. I think a lot of the fish they think are all sat out there, but yeah, the weather's been cold for the last 2 weeks, and I think the fish have moved up there, and they've not been moving much. But the good thing is the weather's warmed up somewhat. It was 13 degrees when I was driving here this morning, unlike the 3 degrees I was fishing in last week, and hopefully, and it's nice and windy, it's blustery. It's going to be raining, I think, later on today, and quite stormy off and on over the weekend. Today's going to be quite rough, I think. As you can see, the wind's blowing across there now, so hopefully that'll get the fish on the move. And I think certainly with about, I think it's 33 or 35 anglers on here all chucking leads about, that should get them moving. Yeah, looking at the sort of contour maps and that, I think I've got an area sort of just out in front of me, about sort of 12 to 1 o'clock, which is there's a nice area out there. According to some of the websites that people catch fish from, that's quite a bit of a hot spot. Hopefully so, we'll soon find out. And then, as you can see, I've got a margin down to my right here, and you know what I'm like with margin fishing, so yeah. Oh, there goes a hooter. I think we can start leading around now and finding spots. So without further ado, I shall have a little look round and get my rod out and have a little bit of a chuck round and see what I can find out there. Right, I'll speak to you all in a bit. Yeah, so it's now 1 o'clock, and yeah, I've got all 3 rods out. Yeah, so the verdict on the sort of spots finding, I've got, if I go out 18 to 20 wraps out in front of me, it seems to be nice and clear, dead out ahead, and any closer than that, I mean, I've got a band of thick weed out there from probably 17 back to about sort of 15 wraps out there, and it seems to be quite thick. So so what I've done, I've got my left hand and my middle rod are out. It's sort of are out 20 wraps over the top of the weed, into that clear area. But also I found just to my right, it was sort of about 1 o'clock, a 10 rat range, as I thought. There is a nice clear area there, and it's a bit gravelly as well. So I've put my right hand rod on that. So that's which seems like a nicer area. Yeah, so I've got the rods out. We'll see what happens. At the moment I've just put 3 solid bags out. I haven't put any bait out yet. A few other people have been spotting out quite a bit of bait. I just try and sort of stay quietly down in the corner here. Haven't seen any fish show, and yeah, let me just sort of turn you around. Yeah, it's just started to rain, so I'm going to sort of give it an hour, give it to about 1:30, and then I might get the throwing stick out and throw a few boilies out with that, and then I'll sort of probably leave it till 4 o'clock, just doing that, a few boilies every hour, be softly, and then when we sort of get to about 4 to 4:30, I'll redo the rods then, and I'll then spot a bit of bait out then. I'm not a great one for spotting, but I think with the night coming up I want to get all 3 rods out there nicely, so I'm happy with them, and get them on that, get some bait over them for the night. Yeah, in case you're wondering where my companion is, Rocco, he's not come on this trip. A few reasons really, the main one being it's a long way to come if he doesn't settle when we get here, and I wasn't quite sure how many people were going to be around, how close we were together, and yeah, it's a long way to pack up and go home from if he didn't settle, and it's a new place to him, so it takes a few times to get used to it. That was sort of the main reason. Reason number 2, it was quite a way for him to come in the car. It took me sort of 2 hours and 10 minutes to get up here, and it's quite a long car journey for him, but also he can you know, probably we'd have to stop and get him out, and there's not too many obvious places to stop other than a service station on the way up to get him out. So yeah, that was another reason, and yeah, reason number 3 is he kind of is used to doing a day, an overnight, and then going home sort of the next morning, so the fact that he then have to do another 24 hours on top of that, what he might not have sailed for, and yeah, I'm not sure how it would go down if you know, I was walking around the lake sort of 3 times a day, taking him for walks, etc. So yeah, so unfortunately no Rocco in this video, but no doubt he'll be in one next week. I'll speak to you soon. Yeah, good evening everyone. Time for an evening update. It's now just gone 5 o'clock, and I've redone all 3 rods ready for the night. I've my left hand rod's straight out in front of me at 20 wraps, and I've put about 8 spoms of bait over that, which is a mix of pellet, sweet corn, hemp, OG fruit and nut mini mix, some 14mm OG fruit and nut boilies, and some 18mm OG fruit and nut boilies has gone over that one. And my middle rod I've moved in a bit because the spot to my right was actually slicking up about 3:45 this afternoon, so there might have been some fish there, and I've had a couple more casts to the right with a bare lead, and I found the farther right I go, the clearer it seems to be. If I go left, I'm going into thick weed unless I'm at 20 wraps out, but if I go and cast at sort of 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock area, and I've got some nice marker trees opposite me to aim at, it's clearer. So I've got one out there at 12.5 wraps into a sort of clear area, which I noticed on one of the guides somebody did, that was designated as a hot spot, sort of 50 yards out there to me right on that area. So I've got I've now put 2 rods on there at 12.5 wraps, and I've also put about 10 spawns over that area of the same mix. So I'm kind of all set for the night with that mix and those rods, and hopefully the next time you see me will be during the night or during the evening with a fish. So I'm going to leave them out there until unless anything happens. So far there's been about 5 fish caught on this lake, and they're all up to my left. Andy in peg 8, he's had 3. The other Jeremy Babbage is in peg 7, he's had 1, and then Jay, who's a couple of swims up from him, peg 5's had 1. So I'm hoping they're going to be moving down, fish are going to be moving down my way, and hopefully during the night we'll have some action. So yeah, that's the update. Let me just whiz you around and have a look out. As you can see, it's come on to rain. But yeah, basically as you look opposite, you'll see some tall trees opposite. So my left hand rod's on the most left hand tree at 20 wraps, and then if you look in the middle where there's sort of the thick bit in the middle, is my middle rod, and that's 12.5, and then just to the right of that there's a little gap, that's my right hand rod at all at 12.5 wraps out there. So hopefully we'll see something happening. I don't know if you can make out on the camera, but yeah, there's some flat spot coming up off my spot at the moment. But yeah, it's all spitting with rain, as you can see. Just take you outside for a little bit of a walk, and there you'll see it's wet on the bivvy. I'm on a bit of a slope here, as you can see. It's I've had to use the old level feet on the bed chair to get that level, and yeah, we're all sort of ready, hoping for some action tonight. And then, as I say, I think I'll keep with those sort of 3 spots, and then those 2 spots out there, see what happens. Nothing happens, and I'll put one along this margin during the day tomorrow, see if I pick up an odd stray cruising along there. But yeah, literally, I don't know if you can make out on the camera. See the bivvy right in the middle there, that's Andy, that's the guy who's had he's a guy who's had 3, and then the next swims along here, they've all caught. So hopefully they'll move this way during the night. Right, that's the update, and I'll hopefully speak to you a bit later. Yeah, so good morning everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the Parker Bait Social at Linear Fisheries. Just a sort of update on what went on in the night really. It was all quiet until 3:30, and I had my alarm go off and came tearing out the bivvy to see both my middle bobbing and my right hand bobbing at the top, and I sort of kind of worked out the middle rod was the one that was doing something, and I picked it up, but only for that point then to get a shout from the guy to my left who was playing a fish, and unfortunately it kited right and gone through somehow picked up my middle line and my right hand line, missed my left hand one, so remarkably, but yeah, so we had a bit of fun in games sorting that out, and yeah, he landed that fish, 28.8 it went. So yeah, I did some photos for him and put it back, and then ended up redoing all three of my rods at sort of 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, got them all back out, and yeah, lo and behold, they've started catching. Yeah, there's been a few more fish out to my left. So now the guy next door has had 2, and then the guy to the left of him, I think, is on 5 fish now. He's doing really well. And then the pegs up, the next guy's had 1, the next one's had 1, the next one's had 3. Nobody to my right's had anything, so they've not pushed down this far, but a chap opposite me and to the right, in the sort of far right hand corner, he had 3 during the night. So they seem to be, they're quite at long range, so out in that right out in the middle and sort of over to the right. So I've redone the rods at about half 7, 8 o'clock this morning, and I've put the left and the middle rod straight out in front. 22 wraps now I'm out with those, just kind of probably as far as I can get them, and I've left the right hand rod on the spot at 12.5 wraps. I've also spotted bait out over both spots. I've put about 8 spawns over each, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll bring me a fish. So yeah, let me just switch around, take you outside. So that's kind of the scene. So my middle, if you look at the trees opposite, so my left hand rod's on the left hand side tallest tree, and the middle rod's on the thicker one. So both out in front at 22 wraps. I don't know if you can see, there's coots out there at the moment. They've been diving around, it's usually a good sign. And then where there's a sort of gap in the trees, that's where my right hand rod is in line with that one at 12.5 wraps. So hopefully we'll see some signs of fish out there today, and they'll move on to me. Yeah, so they were, you could hear them showing in the night out there. There's quite a few splashing about, so hopefully we'll get one during the day. It'd be quite nice to have nabbed one before we go into the night, and yeah, we'll hopefully get one, if not during the day, during the night. It'd be nice to get one fish for my first trip up here. I'd be well pleased with that, and if it's a decent sized one, more the better. Right, that's kind of the morning update, and I shall speak to you in a bit. Yeah, good evening everybody. Yeah, time for an evening update. It's now coming up to 6 o'clock, and as you can see, the light's already going. I'll switch around a minute, you can see a bit more on the lake. Let me just do that now. Yeah, you can see the old lights going. Yeah, sort of half evening update for you, if you like. Yeah, rods have been out all day. Nothing much has happened. I think about 2:30, a lad in a peg opposite to me, sort of slightly opposite and a bit to the left. He had a 32-pound mirror, and it's been kind of quiet until about 4 o'clock, when it sort of kicked off two or three pegs up from me to the left. Young Jay in there, I think he's had 2 or 3 from about within the last couple of hours, including one of 36.10 £. So yeah, he's well pleased with that. I believe that's a new PB for him, and I think he's on something like 6 or 7 fish now. But yeah, I've been, since 2:30, I've been watching out in front of me, and yeah, I've seen about 8 shows, maybe 9, and yeah, they're kind of all a couple of pegs to my left and about 150 yards out. So not surprisingly, it's the far side caught one this afternoon. But and then just, yeah, they've just come across to this side about 4 o'clock. So I'm hoping some are going to make this way down to the bottom end of the lake, and I may pick one off during the evening or during the night. So fingers crossed for that. I think there's only been a couple of pegs caught on the lake today, so it's not sort of fishing that great. I think out of 32 anglers on here, I think there's 7 or 8 that have actually caught, and the fish seem to be pretty localised in that area up to my left. But yeah, on to B1. I think that's been fishing even harder. I think there's only 4 or 5 caught on B1, but I just had news come through that someone's had a 44 pounder on there, so we're waiting to see some pictures of that. I might put some pictures up at the end of this of some of the fish that's been caught over this weekend. But yeah, hopefully we'll have one of our own. Right, as I say, the rods are out. They've all been redone. The left hand and the middle rod are fishing at 22 wraps out. One I've put fake corn on. It's got double fake corn on the left hand rod. The middle rod has got an 18mm OG Fish hardened hooker on, as has the right hand rod, but that's now fishing 13 wraps out to my right, to the sort of clear little area there that I was quite hopeful of, but that's not produced anything. And I think if anything it'll be the middle or the left hand rod that does produce tonight, because they seem to be right out in the middle. But yeah, fingers crossed, and hopefully I'll see you in the night with a fish. Yeah, good morning everybody, and yeah, it's well, I suppose it's the 3rd morning really of the Parker Bait Social here at Linear Fisheries on Brasenose 2, and yeah, sort of morning update really, and yeah, not a lot happened in the night, not to my rods anyway. I think I had one bleep. It woke me up about 11:30 on the right hand rod, and other than that, yeah, nothing. I've had a good night's sleep really. Woke up about 3 o'clock, and then again at sort of 6:30 this morning, just before the alarm went off at 7. So I've had a good night's sleep, and I'm now starting the arduous task of packing everything away. Yeah, we've got to be all packed up by 10 o'clock this morning, and then go around for the presentation to the people who've caught the most and biggest fish. So I'll probably take you around to that, so you'll see a bit of that. And yeah, I might put some footage up of the, well, I'll put the footage up of the final leaderboard, etc., of who's caught what and where on each lake. And yeah, I might show you some pictures of the biggest fish. But yeah, nothing for me, I'm afraid. And yeah, I don't see nothing for anybody down in this corner. I think the guy 2 pegs up from me, Jay, I believe he's had another 2 during the night. And the people in the, let me just swish, people who are sort of those swims over there, the sort of far side of the causeway, I think they had fish last night. But yeah, nothing down in this corner area here. Sure, I don't think the guy next door to me had anything. And so they're sort of still holding out in that same area. Right, so I'll say ta-ta for now, and then I'll show you some of the presentation later. Speak to you in a bit.
With B1. So we've got 2 trophies here, and I'm just going to pull it up next, everything's written down. So this is Liam, so he's got biggest fish trophy. He's also got a 10 kg bundle. He's got most fish trophy, had a 10 kg bundle, but this is where it gets really spicy, and obviously sponsored by Lac Lassie, this particular social. We've got great companies, businesses wanting to work with us, you know, the likes of Lac Lassie. We've also had Tracker on the phone that are going to help support things, and Derek Angling going into socials going forwards. You might even find there's like a bed share on offer for the winner. But this particular time, Lac Lassie have got a week there. Now this is really truly special. What a lake it is. I briefly mentioned it at the beginning. There's a video out this Sunday to give you a little bit of a taste in your mouth of what this particular lake's about. It's tonight, yeah, sorry, it's been a long weekend. Tonight, 7:30, so make sure you tune in. About 3.5, 4 hours away from Calais, and my God, what a venue it is. It's lovely, it's small, it's intimate, it's around 5-6 acres. There's fish, there's a definite 70 in there. There's 2 fish that are knocking that away. They will be over that 70-pound barrier. They come out late last year at sort of that late 60s. They're going to be 70s. It's got a handful of 60s in. It's got loads of 50s in. And yeah, you've just won a week there, which is really exciting. But again, please liaise with the owner. So if you give Lac Lassie Instagram a message or get Jim's number, I think Jim also wants, he's here on site today, he's just here. So he also wants a picture of the 2 winners for his social media, and I think it'd be quite nice because obviously you supported us. So the 2 winners, Jay and Liam, please make sure that you go over to Tim at the end and get a nice picture. I'd like a picture with everybody as well. So that there is his prize. So Liam's also got times 2 fish over £37, which then actually gives him another 2 times 5 kg bundle. So the gentleman's up about 30p, which is half of my park bait store. I'm sure my mum and dad won't be impressed when I go back sending that one about. No, well done, joke aside. So that's Liam. So if Liam would like to come up, please, and a massive round of applause for him. And his brother's got with him. Lovely, lovely. There he is, there, guys. And what a moment, mate. Just about to blow it away. So. That's why I've done that. So you've got your weeks there, and that's your mate. You've got a lovely. Have you got any more rounds? Before you do that, I should say good angling, mate. Very good angling, and you really tricked the fishing on point, and it was lovely to the eye to watch, mate. To be honest, and I'm sure it will be portrayed in the video. So, mate, I'll shake your hand again. Well done. Congratulations. Well done to Liam. We have got Jay. Jay, mate, make sure you win the BYCAC this year. I know I keep saying this year, you need to win it, mate. This is it, your last opportunity to do it. Are you going to do it this year, mate? And I hope you do. I hope you do. So, Jay, he's obviously won 2 trophies. Biggest fish, most fish, 20 kg of bait, and I'm sure he's going to be on my back about that. Then you owe me some bait, maybe you take it. Not that I've not, to be honest, it looked like I walked into a distributor of Parker baits when I walked in this swim, because I'm like, you got enough bait? He's like, yeah, mate. You had like 7 5 kg bags, you had boilies coming out of boilies, flat spot coming out of flat spot, you had everything, but you're going to have even more now. So, Jay, if you'd like to come over, massive round of applause for Jay. Great angling.
Well done, Jay. Well done.
There you go. And on that note, you've been liaising with Jim about Lac Lassie, because you were actually coming with me. We were going anyway in October this year. So he's going, well, I want to go twice because of one of the things. And actually, you're going to Lac Lassie twice, mate. Got to shake your hand, mate. Well done. Great angling. Congratulations. And a massive round of applause. But don't think you got away with that, Jay. So what I'd like to do is, before we all go off and shake our hands and have art and what have you, we're going to all go over. I'm going to get James to stand here. I want to capture this as well on the video. This is something that we normally do. So anybody on a Parker Bait social, if you catch a PB, you do get soaked at the end. So this is going to be really, he's going to be dripping like an egg sandwich in a minute. He truly is. So on that note, if Jay, if you want to hover here, mate, and we're all, anybody who's got buckets, move.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, soak it!